this video, I'm setting up my monthly spreads for January in my bullet journal. I'm using Faber Castell fineliners, Crayola Supertips markers, and a gold gel pen to make my spreads. I'm doing a cat theme this month. We recently adopted a second cat, which is what inspired me to do this theme. Now that we have 2 cats, I can understand how some people come to have 10 or 20 cats. Not that I ever will, but I get it now. I'm drawing the same 2 cats throughout all my spreads in 2 different shades of purple. I'm drawing the shape of the cat first and then outlining it afterwards. It's really easy to draw them this way. They're made up of pretty basic shapes. I'm also adding eyes, a nose, and whiskers with my fineliner. One of the cats has a little moon on its forehead and the other has a sun on its chest. I thought the gold went really well with the purple shades. It looks kind of majestic, and as we all know, cats are majestic creatures. For my headers this month, I'm using a light beige colored marker that is more orange toned, so it complements the purples and goes well with the gold as well. Since the purples are so rich and dark, I chose a very light color to balance them out. For the titles, I'm using a simple monoline all caps font that is short and wide. I wanted the headers to be rather simple, so the cats are the focal point of the spreads. I'm drawing the headers and all the other boxes in my spreads with rounded corners, which I think goes well with the rounded shapes of the cats. First, I'm making the title for the month and my monthly calendar. I wrote the days of the month on a purple background with my fineliner and it doesn't show up really well. So I'll probably go back later and rewrite the numbers with a gold gel pen instead. I'm drawing some stars and sparkles around the cats to make it more festive for the beginning of the new year. On the right side, I'm drawing 2 boxes, one for my goals for January and one for a monthly to-do list. I only started adding monthly goals and to-dos to my spreads a couple months ago. I wasn't ready for it before that. I didn't have enough of a sense of direction and purpose. Plus, I had to cultivate the feeling that I can accomplish things I set my mind to first. I think it's important to remember that your bullet journal is a tool for you to use to your benefit. It can be easy to set unrealistic expectations for yourself. Especially with so much bullet journal content online, it's easy to slip into the mistake of comparing yourself to others and feeling like you aren't doing enough. I've learned to only make spreads that are actually useful to me. If you notice that some spreads just stress you out or make you feel disappointed in yourself, you can always choose to leave them behind or change them in some way so they fit you better. On the next page, I'm making my habit tracker. I'm making a habit tracker with 31 rows for the days of the month and little icons to represent the habits I want to track at the top of the columns. At the bottom, I'll also have a row to write down how many days I did each habit at the end of the month, and a row to track whether I did more or less of each habit than I did the previous month. I've been using this layout for my habit tracker for a while now. I used to do the individual little monthly calendars, but I find this works better for me. It's easier to keep track of, and I find it more satisfying to look at, so I'm motivated to fill it out too. I add a large dot when I complete a habit for that day, and a tiny dot where I don't, so that way I don't lose track of what row I'm supposed to be using next. I'll also be adding dotted lines to separate the weeks. This is also to make it easier for me to keep track of where I am in the month. Now I'm making my gratitude log. I've been doing a gratitude log for a couple of months now. I always thought cultivating gratitude is a positive and useful thing to do, but I also thought I'm grateful enough. I appreciate what I have. What good would it really do me to write down one thing I'm grateful for each day? But it is actually useful. Taking a minute to reflect on my day and think of something positive is a peaceful little ritual. And it helps me notice what it is that brings me joy, what my attention is drawn to, which in turn helps me to be able to take even better care of myself, to prioritize the things that make me happy. I'm drawing a cat's head for each day of the month to write my daily gratitude in. I used to just do a horizontal layout with the dates on the left and an empty line to write on. Then last month I did little gift boxes because it went well with my monthly theme for December, and I found that it's much more fun this way and it made me even more motivated to fill it out. Plus, looking at it makes me happy, so I decided to do something fun with my gratitude log this month too. Next, I'm making my expense tracker. I'm leaving some space at the top to write down what my balance is at the beginning and the end of the month, and a checklist for my bills. For my expense tracker, I'm making 4 columns. In the first column, I'll write down the description of whatever it is. Then I have a space to note if it was cash or card. I'll write the amount in the third column if it's income, and the fourth column if it's an expense. In the last column, I'll update the total whenever I add something to the list. This is an idea I got from Plant-Based Bride here on YouTube. I used to just add up the total at the end of each month, but it's much better this way because I can always see exactly how much money I have, and it doesn't come as a surprise at the end of the month. Next to my expense tracker, I'm making my notes page. This is what most people would call a brain dump page, but I don't really like how that sounds, so I just call it notes. I'm just writing the title and adding a cat and some stars and leaving the rest empty, so I have room to write down whatever I need to that doesn't have a place in any of my other spreads. Now I am making my first weekly spread for the year. Normally, if there are 4 days of the week in the previous month and 3 in the next, I would just make the weekly spread for the previous month. But since it's a new year and a new journal, I wanted to start my weekly spreads from the 1st of January. I'm not doing the whole week though, just the 3 days that are in January. I'm making a very simple spread, with just a box for each of the 3 days, the day of the week in the header, and the date in the little cat shapes. I usually do a whole week on one page, so I probably won't be needing this much space. I might fill it in with some quotes or doodles or something later on. I messed up the days of the week here. I sometimes do that when I'm setting up a new month in my bullet journal. I think first day of the month and my mind automatically goes to Monday. I fixed my mistake by adding some little gold stickers, and I wrote the days on those instead. So those are all of my monthly spreads for January, and here's the flip through. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely rest of your day.